Good evening, one and all, to Guitar Town Hall with David NESDALL. Look at that, I rhymed. And my buddy, co-host, and good friend, Ben Coombs.
All the above, in fact. Hello, David. Welcome to Thursday night. Always a pleasure. We bring the thunder. And apparently the guy on the highway had to just hit the Jake brake as you were talking. So I caught most of that. We've already got quite the crowd in here. I was saying to you before we went live, I was like, I need to pop out the chat just in case I need to say something to somebody at some point. And we had a bunch of people waiting like a long time ago. So they're all pre-gaming it out in the parking lot, and that's fine. That's fine. They get the best seats down front. So, I hope you've had a decent week. I know, for instance, you're hanging out over at my favorite guitar shop I've never been to. Lord help me if I ever darken their doorstep. It's going to be a painful day. You were hanging out with a part of rock and roll royalty, if you will, a trendsetter.
That's absolutely correct.
Man, and when you told me, I freaked out a little. I'm like, really?
Let's tell them. I got a chance to hang out with Marky Ramone from the Ramones.
Yeah,
and you would think the Ramones. This guy must be flying high. But he had all scruples. He's the drummer. He had all scruples. He was a great guy, super intelligent, knows his stuff. Rock star, dressed like a rock star.
Yeah,
he dressed like a rock star with a big knit hat.
The Ramones are the reason I wear the leather jacket I wear to this day. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like they looked at music competitively in that it's like a long distance runner date, I ran the mile this time because they used to say, because they literally did the same set for 10, 20 years after a while. And they're like, we got her down to 47 and a half minutes tonight.
Wow. That's amazing.
And then it would be like, we managed to knock it out in 44 minutes. And it was just like, because they would just tighter, faster. To the point where it's like we knocked it out in 38 minutes. I'm like, that poor audience, they wouldn't have known what hit them.
Okay.
Because they're already the Ramones just flat out on 23, So
Yeah, sure. The coolest thing about the Ramones is all their songs are about 2 minutes long, and they can play a set of like 50 songs in an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember I bought their local live album. It had 48 tracks. I was like, this has got to be an extended disc. No, it's one disc. But they could fit 48 tracks on a single CD.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, I have a lot of stuff to show tonight. It's going to be a good, fun night. Some of you may like it. Some of you may not like it. A lot of you guys and girls are going to like one of the things that I'm going to show because you are all a Van Halen style bunch of people. Yep. I got a cool pedal to show. Well, actually, not the pedal itself because the pedal is in my board. I didn't want to take it out, but a great photo of it. And then I've got an amazing coffee table book to show
that everybody but Bozique will like.
Ben is going to lose his mind over, but Bozique is going to say yes. So.
And thank God Bozique was in the chat by the time we said it. That's awesome. Yeah. Hey, buddy. Speaking of which, I want to get to roll call here before we get too deep into the show because it's just been going the whole show already. And we've got Dan of New Jersey, moderator to the stars, and us, Terry's 3Gs. Of course, the one and only Bozique. Hitman Dwight Bailey, Randy Crooks. Let's see, who else do we have here? Papa Blue, Guitar Man 45, the lovely and quite knowledgeable herself, Desiree NESDALL. She knows stuff. Might not be about guitars, but she knows a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff. And it's one of the things I like about Des. Tim Thomas, Billy Baloney. Let's see, Janice Lala, Thomas Santiago. Scrolling on back here. Let's see, Charles 75N, Loogie Flux, Octopus Ears. Dude, wow, you guys were all talking. There's Tubin in one.
Let's give Tubin a shout out. He and I had a great conversation today. I'm not going to say what about because that's up to him. But if he wants to talk about it, but great guy. We had a video chat today. Just one of those guys that has been watching all these shows myself, Ben, when I was with Johnny Bean, when I was with Ty Price, when we were all in different shows, he was a constant, like most of you people here. You were all constant. And we got a chance to talk today, and it was a very cool conversation. So shout out to Tubinin.
Yes. We also have David Scher here. Always great to see David in here. House of Twang. Hey, Kid Shred himself, Joe Hervey 84. Now I'm getting into the pre-gamers. That's all you talk to. Mark Effects. Keith Campbell.
31 pairs of eyes looking at us.
Wow. Nice. Headstock Harem. I think I got everybody. I think so. If not, say hello again at the bottom and I'll say sup.
Exactly. If you're new to the show, please subscribe to the show.
Please.
Click that bell. Hit always so you can get the notifications. And I promise you, we will not bombard you with garbage. It'll be fun. It'll be good stuff. You'll know when we're on.
We're too lazy to bombard, Dave. And plus, we're busy playing guitars and stuff. Like, we don't have the time to bombard.
Right.
Dave Ennis, he knows what we're talking about. What's up, Dave?
Exactly. Billy Baloney says 31 eyes, but not enough thumbs. Let's get some thumbs up.
I was going to say, the eyes should match the thumbs. We have the same amount of each.
Yes, very good. So what's new with you, man?
What's new with me? Continuing the process of the Kramer Beretta Special build, which I can't show anything off because it's all in the workbench, all over. It's literally all over the workbench. It's a dozen Ziploc sandwich bags and a neck. Got a new nut. So replacing the plastic nut with a tusk nut because I figure, why not? And, it's going to be a fun build. So if you want to check that out, follow along. It's over on my YouTube channel, folks. A lot of fun. And continuing the journey of my pedal board, Dave. You know how that is, how it's always a changing thing. But I finally decided after a number of years, I'm going to build a pedal board completely for me because it doesn't have to serve a purpose. I'm not playing in a band right now, which generally your pedal board dictates based off the music you're playing.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to be playing. So I was like, what's going to inspire me to play? Basically, that's what I'm looking at. An inspirational board, if you will.
Well, that's how that's a great way to start writing your own music. Building a board that does everything that you want it to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you can build songs around it.
That's my idea. Which means I'm short a few pedals without having to rob my LPD board. Like I want a fancy reverb of some kind. I haven't decided yet what I want. Whether it's going to be that Polaris from Digitech, which Dave Friedman talked about, or I might just pick up one of those EHX. Was it the Canyon that's got the multiple reverb settings? Yeah. One of those as a placeholder until I dial in exactly what I want. But I need something that does like infinite reverbs, and wouldn't mind the basically what I'm looking for is the Larry Mitchell settings, Dave, where you do that beautiful word in the heavens sing.
Yeah, I know. He's cornered the market on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Topped by the Rainbow Machine. Yes, the Rainbow Machine will be on there, House of Twang.
So let's start. I'm going to show off one of these things that I have on my this pedal that I have on my board.
Yes.
Since we're talking about pedal boards, let me do this.
You know, I wasn't trying to do a segue, but I was trying to do a segue.
But you know what? It's a good segue. Now,
exactly.
I don't really think I need any more pedals, to tell you the truth. But this one pedal, I've always had a some version or some type of this type of pedal on every board, because basically I'm a blues player, and when you have two guitar players in a band, and the other guy just plays kind of guitar, and you can fool around with other things, I like to have this pedal and then roll down my tone and play B3 on the guitar. So I didn't buy it. My buddy Dennis gave this pedal to me this week. It's the Micro Vent, which is probably the best rotary speaker pedal I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
Neo Instruments makes it. The Mini Vent is their flagship, and it's slightly bigger. And the Mini Vent, the only difference between the Micro Vent and the Mini Vent is the Mini Vent doesn't have any dials on it, number one. It's got two switches. It's got an on-off and a slow fast with a ramp. And it's 12 volts, and it's stereo. This pedal is 9-volt DC, so it fits in my board great. Mm-hmm. It's the size of an MXR pedal. Mm-hmm. It's mono, which who cares? Don't need it to be in stereo. As long as my delays are in stereo, this doesn't need to be in stereo. And instead of having an on-off switch, it has an on-off switch, and it doubles. If you step on the switch for 2 seconds, it ramps down or up depending on where you have the three-way switch on the pedal. Beautiful. So I start with, you turn it on and it's fast rotary. So it'll sound more like a B3. Mm-hmm. And then as you step on the switch and hold it for 2 seconds, it ramps down to like a beautiful type chorus. And it's actually the type of chorus that Eric Clapton uses. If you what's the song I'm thinking of? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's this. He uses something like this as his chorus pedal.
Sure.
So it's not bad. What does 3 seconds do, Joe Harvey? Ask my wife. Just kidding. Just kidding. Badge, Billy Baloney.
But it's a really, really, really good 3 seconds.
3 seconds is what it takes to get the fast rotary to ramp down to slow chorus. And it sounds like it would on a B3 organ. Mm-hmm. So it's really cool. It works the same way. So it's really cool. Desiree said she's dying here now. Honestly, that's a great 3 seconds. So it's fantastic. But that's basically it. So that's the new pedal in the board.
Very cool.
I've got a little time to use it this week. It was really cool, and that'll be staying in the board until Dennis wants it back. He may want it back someday. Who knows? He's been really generous with me lately, like things he's not using. He's like, yeah, here, check this out. If I want it back, I'll ask for it back. Okay. And that's basically what this is. So it's in my board. I didn't put Velcro on it because I don't know if it's mine.
Sure.
So, and the board's not going anywhere, so I didn't put Velcro on it. It's just sitting there nicely, and the box is tucked in the corner of that shelf there.
Sure. Apparently, we have breaking news. Charles 75N reporting in. FYI, the fabric begins to meet the body on Saturday. Just saying. So that would be part of the Kramer Beretta special build I'm doing.
Oh, very cool.
Doing a fabric top because, Dave, how many fabric top Kramers? You're a Kramer guy. How many fabric top Kramers have you ever seen?
I've never seen any. The only fabric top guitar I've ever seen is a Steve Vai gem with a floral pattern. It's the only fabric top I've ever seen.
This is what I'm saying.
Very cool.
It should be fun. Different. There's Gear Junkie 35 and Eduardo Marino Porto.
What's going on, guys? Nice of everyone to join us.
Yeah.
Yes, Papa Blue, you did say that. It's okay. It's all good. Lighthearted here tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Lighthearted indeed.
Yes, Texas Toast done a few fabric tops, that's for sure. They don't want to do anymore because they got kind of known for doing fabric tops. Everybody was reaching out, hey, do a fabric top this and a fabric top that. And we're like, oh, man, we don't want to do anymore for a while. We do other stuff, folks, because they are a full custom guitar company, after all.
Mm-hmm.
But yes.
Very cool.
Speaking of which, and I will grab it. Sussing out pedals for the pedal board. I've decided on a chorus. It's on the other board for now. So I'm going to go with the Akai Professional Analog Custom Shop chorus. Because this thing gets a really, really slow but full and lush thing. Almost detuny. And so I was like, oh, it does that. Perfect. Because I was looking for something that was slow but not stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And this does it. So I was quite happy about that. Yeah, it's got a fast and a slow. And I found if you put it on the slow speed and drop the speed right down, keep the spread wide, because who doesn't like wide spread? I mean, geez, come on.
There you go.
And then it's got a tone knob, which helps.
I will ask though, have you tried the Boss Waza CE2 yet?
I have not yet. No, I looked for it the last time I was in at both the local Boss dealers, and they neither of which had it in stock. I would like to, because I have a CE2, but I'd like to try CE1. That's the thing.
CE1 is the best, most lush chorus pedal I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I like to use my CE. Actually, I revisited the CE2 and it doesn't quite go slow yet full enough for what I want. The CE2 is great for certain things, but it's not for what I want it to do. I don't know why I'm trying to pick the Velcro off the bottom of that. You're going on a pedal board. You need your Velcro. So let's put you over there.
Bruce Poinsett says, what do you do? Hodgepodge the fabric to the paint and then clear and buff?
Pretty much. Wood glue the fabric to the body and then clear and buff.
Very cool.
Yeah. If you go on Charles's channel, he's got a couple guitars he's done. It's pretty straightforward.
Nice. By the way, welcome, Bruce.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you in a long time. Very cool.
T. Ricky is here. Nice. The whole gang stopped on in tonight. Like it.
Yeah, it's all good.
Charles just replies, yep.
Anyway, just want to give you guys a heads up. Next Thursday, we'll have a special guest on, Paige Davidson from Well-Strung Guitars. Paige is Dave's daughter, also his business partner. She knows a crap load of stuff about vintage guitars. She is the dictionary, the encyclopedia. She's incredible. She knows her stuff. She's a lot of fun to hang out with. She'll be our guest next Thursday.
I'm looking forward to that for sure. So Laz, great to see Laz in here. Stores are all open around here, Terry. They have been for quite a while. It's just more, they're just full capacity starting like next week. Everything's back to full capacity again. But What else did I see? Papa Blue says not impressed with the new Line 6 amp. I don't know about you, Dave, but I've never been impressed by any amp Line 6 has ever made.
Yeah, I'm not impressed by Line 6 at all, to tell you the truth.
I like their Helix and their Stomp type virtual stuff, but not their amps. I'd use like their, what is it called? Their full range speaker. It's like a powered monitor. That works really good with a Helix system because you got the virtual JJ's House of Jams. He's got one of those setups, and I played with that, and I went, holy crap! Like, but you got once it's all dialed in. But I like tactile. I gotta have pedals in hand, amps with knobs. I don't want virtual knobs. I need real knobs. It's just me.
Cool. Yeah, I'm a virtual guy myself too. Put an amp in front of me with knobs and something that you don't have to program. I'm all there.
Yep.
Just turn a knob and I can hear it. I hear what I like.
Like, I think you would be like me when it comes to like Larry's rig. It's a virtual rig, but you need someone like Larry to dial in and then go, here's a guitar, Dave. Now play.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Larry he's the king of programming. He knows how to do that. He knows the ins and outs of those types of machines. He's been doing it all his life. I mean, you know, he in the 80s, he had, you know, a 16 space and I think a 20 space rack filled with different, you know, delays and choruses and all kinds of stuff. You know, he was all into that.
Sure.
So it comes second nature to him. But, you know, you put that in front of me. I mean, he left one of his Axe Effects units here for a while. And when he was here, I played through it and I was like, this is the best thing in the world. He left it here and I never touched it because I didn't know how to use it. Just couldn't do it.
I get it. Gotcha, Bozy. So it's Line 6 Catalyst. So, okay, I see. Yeah, so I've done the virtual stuff. But that's the thing. Their hardware doesn't... The amount of Line 6 half stacks I saw where the heads just fell apart after 18 months to 2 years from gigging. They vibrate apart.
Yeah, you know,
handle it. You can't put something digital like that, Dave, sitting on a 412 cab and start playing heavy music through it because components don't like that.
Well, the thing that I don't like about basically anything solid state or anything like that is it sounds small. I don't care what anyone says. If you like it, great, good for you. If it works for you, that's fantastic. But it's very small sounding. And what I mean by small sounding is it's not super round and big like a tube amp. You know, like tube amps.
It's not present. Does that make sense?
The word tubby is not really the right word because tubby also doesn't sound good. But a good tube amp, like a good Fender, a vintage Fender tube amp, or a good hand-wired tube amp with a good speaker in it, it's going to sound big and ballsy, and it's going to hit you in the chest or hit you in the back. Even at low volumes, it's going to be big sounding and just round and juicy.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say.
I always say like present, like in the room with you, as opposed to just.
But I mean, even the EVH stuff. I know it's a tube amp, and I'm being a hypocrite right now when I say this. The EVH stuff, even though it's a tube amp, sounds very tiny to me. It doesn't sound. I mean, it doesn't sound big. It doesn't sound open. It doesn't sound big. It's loud. Don't get me wrong. It's loud. And for heavy metal and Van Halen style music, it's fantastic. try to do a wedding with that amp. You can't. Go try to do a
blue one
with that amp. You can't.
You can do one. You'll never get hired again after you did that one with it.
Go try to do a 70s rock gig with that amp. You can't. You know, you use a big, like even Marshalls these days, you know, older Marshalls sound fantastic. They're big, they're ballsy, they're not overly distorted, and they sound just humongous. But the more distortion you have, the smaller it sounds. And I also don't like digital distortion. It just bugs my ears. So that's why I just don't care for it. Well, Zeke, I will even go as far as saying the PV 5150 is not as good. They just don't sound that good. If you're comparing an EVH 5150 and a PV 5150 to a Soldano SLO 100, you can't compare the two. They both sound terrible next to the Soldano. Now, that being said, the Soldano is also a high gain amp, but when you turn that gain down, it rounds itself out. It cleans up nicely. It sounds like the style of tube amp that I'm talking about. There's something about that amp. There's something about old Tweed amps. Mm-hmm. There's something about black-faced Fender amps. There's something about...
You mentioned two things there, Dave. Soldano and Tweed, which makes me where I don't know if I ever want to play through another Soldano in my life, because I've only ever played through one, and it was, you may remember at NAMM a couple of years ago, Soldano brought out the Tweed half stack he had made for Stevie Ray Vaughan, but Stevie never got a chance to get it. And he had it, excuse me, at the show, and he said, "Hey, do you want to play through it?" Yeah, but it was at the end of day one. He says, "Well, you know, can't today." He's like, "Come back tomorrow." I made a beeline first thing Friday morning, because I was like, so I've only played through one Soldano, and that thing was amazing. Even with all the background noise, I didn't care. I'm like, holy crap. Like, I'm playing through basically Stevie Ray Vaughan Soldano. What would have been. And it sounded amazing. And I was like, is there anything fancy? Like, is it something else? Like, is it more hot rodded bass? Like, what's it's like, no, it's, you know, it is what it is. It's just smooth. He just made sure it was very smooth throughout everything. So if anything, it would be a smoother Soldano, which was awesome. And I fell in love with him. I get it.
Let me give you an example, and I wish I can give you a audio example so you could hear it. I don't have it. I told you guys last week that a week ago Saturday, Desiree and I went and we got to hang out with Joe Bonamassa, and he was playing a very expensive 58 Explorer through I want to say a late 50s Tweed Vibrolux. It's like a 18-watt amplifier. Mm-hmm. It was the biggest. He had just turned it on 10, and they're not terribly loud, but it was the biggest sounding amp I've ever heard in my life. It was so big and round sounding. It was delightful, easy on the ears, loud, but
Amp's
not
designed to be turned up.
Not loud. It was just an amazing sound. You know, it was crazy.
An amp designed before PA systems were used on stage, basically. So designed to keep up with the drummer.
Yeah. Desiree said that Ronnie Lee owns a Soldano. I don't remember. I think she just got one. It might be the SLO 30. Maybe I'm remembering that.
They're pretty cool. Tubinian one mentioned that one too. He'd like to try that one.
Yeah,
It's sort of like, you know, that 25 watt, whatever, like a Friedman or the SLO 30. There's that new trend of here's the compact version, compact car version of our flagship heads, which is fine by me, because You know, designed for it to work with like a 112 cab. Fine. I don't know about you. I'd rather carry a 112 cab than a 412 cab.
Very true.
Or 212.
And Bruce points that, yes, pick attack makes you loud or soft, but also the volume on the amp and guitar do too. But yeah, I just hanging out with Bono Ross,
for that 30.
diming the amp and just wailing away in a guitar shop was amazing to see. Just amazing to see.
No doubt.
You know what? I may have a tiny clip. If you give me a second to look for it.
Well, you do that. I shall browse the chat here.
One second, guys and girls. See if I can find this.
Pop Blue System is 6505, the same as the old 5150 amps, more or less. Unless they've cheaped out on some parts along the way. Marketing will tell you it's the same thing, but I don't know. I say I don't know only because everybody I've ever heard play through a 6505 played nothing like Eddie Van Halen. So I don't know. Like, I'd like to hear somebody play some Van Halen type stuff through it.
Mm-hmm.
Just for confirmation, you know, that'd be nice. But I don't think the EVH folks would like that too much.
You don't think so?
I'm just guessing. They wouldn't send a cease and desist. They'd send a why. Why'd you do that? Why? They said, because people ask. Like, so? Well, we can't not advertise. I don't know, PV. You've done a pretty good job the last few years.
Unfortunately, I don't have the video. I only have a photo. A shame. But anyway, here's the photo of Joe playing that.
Oh, he's wearing a toque.
That $1 million guitar through that tweed right there that he ended up buying the same day.
Nice. Well, you know, you might as well try it with something.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Joe Bonamassa pretty much has to shop there at a place like that, Dave, because for him to shop for an amp, you know, it's like, well, I'm thinking I want to play my 58 Explorer through it. So do you have a 58 Explorer around that I can try to play through it?
Well, he doesn't have one. He doesn't have a 58 Explorer. He doesn't have an Explorer. But I don't know that he's going to get one. I don't know. I mean, that's the Explorers, you know, like V's are $500,000. Explorers are $1 million.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he's going to be spending. I really don't think he's going to spend $1 million on one guitar when he's, you know, he's into real estate these days. These days he's really into real estate. So
smart move. They're not making more of it.
Yeah. But anyway, I wish I had a video clip, but I don't. If you would have heard that amplifier, it was crazy.
Exactly, Billy Baloney. That Tweed Vibrolux is Keith in a box. Yep.
Yeah, good stuff. A little 18-watt amp.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you guys ready to see another nice little thing that I have here?
Heck yes.
Well, hang on. It is the Blackguard Telecaster book from Nacho Banos. It is a real thick coffee table book.
Could be used as a coffee table. It's that big.
Oh, yeah. And the front and then the back is the back of a Telecaster.
Nice.
Now, because I can't lift it, it's heavy. This book is probably 12 pounds.
The book weighs more than a telly.
Yeah, it's amazing. So yeah, this is it's one of those books that, you know, I thought I knew a lot about Telecasters and a lot. I don't know shit. I started reading this book and now I'm starting to know stuff. It's amazing. Amazing. This book.
Well, at least one of us. That's good, Dave.
This book is amazing. And I know that Bozique is like, yeah, so what?
This is the part where I go to the bathroom. I love it, Bozique. Just kidding. Oh, see, this is what I love about regular viewership in the family known as the YouTube community. Oh, I love it.
No, Billy, I will not drop this on my foot. I'd break it.
And we're not talking about the book.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, Bruce. That's what I'm watching right after we're done tonight.
What's that?
Qualifying races for Daytona, this Sunday's Daytona 500. So.
Oh, that's right. You're a NASCAR guy. You.
Yeah. Let's just go out on a track 2.5 miles long, Dave. It's like an interstate 3 wide, and you just put her to the mat and just hold it wide open in traffic, except your traffic's 185 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It's fine most of the time. It's fine. Hope nobody lets off up ahead because you can't see. It's going to be fine. Sure, it's fine.
Yeah. Hey, Leo, how are you?
What's up, Leo?
So I have one more thing to show, which is probably you guys and girls will think it's the coolest of the bunch, and it's damn cool. This I have to solo myself on this.
You do that. And yes, they do, Bozique.
This is super cool.
Oh.
This is the new neck that Donnie Ward and Chris Locke is making. It is exactly the Music Man neck shape. Exactly. It's also, the headstock is super duper thin, like the original 5150.
Right.
It is made from a beak headstock, the way it was originally made. And the old holes are doweled with I think this is walnut.
Yeah, should be.
It's incredible. It's the real headstock shape. All the other companies like Musicraft, they come close. They don't really have it. And
the dowel inserts.
And the thing is, Scott Smith says it himself. They don't have time to. They make it close. They don't have time to make everything exact because it's a very small part of their business.
Sure.
So for them to make this headstock shape exact and do all of this, they would lose money. So they get it kind of close in the ballpark, but this is absolutely it. And it'll get painted next week and put on.
Did you send a photo of that to Rob Johnson?
No. And I would feel terrible because today he put a bunch of photos of his 5150 on Instagram, and I didn't have the heart to send him this.
Yeah, so. just a photo of just the headstock, he'd be like, oh, that gives him the chills in the good way.
Those of you who have played Music Man Van Halen guitars or owned them, you all know that the Music Man guitar neck profile was digitally made from the 5150 neck. So what these guys did was they reverse engineered it and digitally came up with all the neck dimensions from a Music Man guitar and made their 5150 neck. So this is absolutely what Eddie's neck would feel like. Yeah, so this is it. Mm-hmm. And came in the mail last night. I got it around 8 o'clock. And I had forgotten. I forgot that this was coming. I remember the guys telling me, yeah, we made you this neck. It'll be there. You'll have it. But then I just forgot about it. And all of a sudden it showed up yesterday. And I was like, oh, my God.
There it is.
The only thing I'm afraid of is look at how close this hole is to the edge.
Yep.
And it's like that on Eddie's guitar. It's very thin there, but it's not going to break. It's plenty strong. It's plenty strong. It doesn't even.
I'm thinking the only thing beyond that is like we've inserted titanium nano rods in that small piece of wood to reinforce it so it won't blow out. Like that's the only thing you can go any further. Like
Bozic says, "What's that 7-hole for?" Did the original have that? Yes. In 1990, Eddie Van Halen broke his headstock between the E string and the B string. It broke it all, broke the tip off. And it was glued back on, but the high E string hole, the crack was right kind of in the high E string hole.
Right.
So instead of fixing it correctly, Eddie just drilled a hole down here, and that's where his high E string was. So if you've seen any pictures of the guitar modern day, you'll see a 7th tuning peg down this way. And that's the way it's been since 1990.
And still, even never bothered to redo it correctly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's up, Jay? J7 over 8 in the chat.
Joe Harvey says, will one day any of EVH's guitars been shown to the public? Is the family aware of the lure? I don't think they care. I don't think it's ever going to be a thing. I don't think they're going to ever, put them in a museum.
Maybe
or anything.
If there's another thing like the Met thing again.
I don't think so.
Which is essentially, and then you've done that, but it'd be like, okay, yeah, here's maybe a couple other items as well.
Yeah, I think it would just be the Frankenstein again. I think that's the guitar. I mean, our generation, it's always going to be the 5150 guitar, but most people, it's the Frankenstein guitar, and it's the
stripe
when it was painted red.
Yeah.
That's what people know the most, and that's the guitar that everyone goes goo-goo for. But I don't know. For me, it's the 5150, and it always will be. But I think if there are any Van Halen guitars going to any museums anytime in the future, it's going to be the Frankenstein.
Yeah,
because that's what everyone knows.
Exactly. Like I'd have to say, thinking like the only thing would be some kind of. And probably tied in with a charity too would be like famous guitar collections, and they would take say 20 guitars that would be handpicked by Wolfgang and whomever else, and say, okay, do this. And it would have to be something on the same level as that Met type thing, I think.
Yeah. I don't see Wolfgang sending any guitars to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
No,
I don't see him giving any more to the Hard Rock Cafe. I don't see
how many Hard Rock Cafes are even still open at this point.
You're probably right. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to read what Bozic is saying. I think the time Wolfgang's grandkids donate the guitars to a museum, Smithsonian, the diehard EVH fans like us may be dead. You know what? I don't believe that, because there are generations. Our generation still loves Jimi Hendrix.
Yep. Oh, there's people that still like Beethoven and Mozart.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be. It's a forever thing. I don't think it's ever going to go away. It might go away for a little while, but then someone will rediscover it, and it'll be a big thing again. So.
The Smithsonian though, that one right there. Like if the Smithsonian called and said we would like to put the Frankenstein in the Smithsonian.
Yeah, but there is one. A replica is there, a black and white, and the red one.
Okay, they've already got replicas. Then
they've got his rig or a copy of his rig. There's a whole Van Halen thing in the Smithsonian.
That's good.
Yeah,
makes you feel kind of old. But that's good.
Yeah. Billy Belloni says Rick Nielsen did something like that. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
But only for his guitars. Well, which makes sense. What am I saying?
Well, he's got a lot of guitars, so
yeah, he does.
He's got enough of a varied collection that it'd be like, oh, would you like to do a display on this guitarist? Because I can furnish it. Because he's the type of guy. Strats, yeah, there's 35 of them over there. Well, I've never seen you play a Strat. Doesn't matter. I play Strats on albums.
Very
People forget these guitars are used on albums. Not necessarily you would see him use it on stage, but layering, folks, production, if you will.
I've seen him use a Strat, so he doesn't use it often. Mostly, he's a humbucker guy.
Sure,
he's a Les Paul and an Explorer style guy. That's what he's always going to be, or anything funky looking. What else?
What else do we have here?
I'm sorry, guys. I'm not really feeling well today. And I'm just trying to read the chat. It's going by pretty quickly. So if it sounds like there's a little dead air, please forgive me. I'm just trying to read the chat.
And I picked up takeout pizza, and I may or may not have eaten 6 slices of pizza prior to coming on tonight. So I might be in a bit of a food coma myself.
Wow, 6 slices. It's funny you should mention pizza, because we ordered Italian food. I don't really like to talk about food on this show, but we ordered Italian food too. And normally we order pizza or whatever. So I ordered a calzone, and I ordered a calzone with sausage and broccoli raw in it. And it was so good, but it was so big. I only ate half of it, and it was way, way too much. I had to throw the rest away, because you can't really save that. It just goes bad.
Well, it's funny. We hadn't had takeout pizza in since last fall probably. And Dad, he's got to watch what he eats, And so I said to him this afternoon, I'm like, you think about Little Caesars just hot and ready's? He's like, yeah. He's like, hey, get a whole bunch of them and we can freeze some. I'm like, I don't think they'd freeze too well, Dad. He's like, all right, buy a stack of them and we're just going to pig out on them for the next 2 or 3 days. I was like, I like the cut of your jib, Dad. I like that. You are a musician at heart still to this day. I was like, yeah, I can live off pizza for a couple of days.
Yeah. Hey, let's say hello to Jay Hannon, 7/8. He's here.
Sup, Jay?
What's going on?
Yeah, food talk. Is it Sunday night already? Well, yeah, we get into the food talk on occasion.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I cover all the aspects of my guests when they come on. What gear they use, what food they eat. Sure.
It's all good.
Why not? Favorite brand of shoe to wear on stage? It's always Vans, folks. It's always Vans.
Vans are comfortable, except you got to be flat-footed to wear them.
Dr. Scholl's inserts.
I wear Dr. Scholl's inserts in my boots. Little Caesars is terrible, Jay.
It is, but it's cheap.
What?
It was hot. And it was ready.
God.
Yeah, it was there. I didn't say it was good pizza, Dave.
I don't like any of those, like Domino's, Pizza Hut. I don't like any.
Oh, I get it.
The sauce is not real. It's not like New York style pizza. The crust sucks.
No.
The cheese sucks. Everything's just not good. It's just not good.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're drunk at 2 a.m., then even bad pizza is good. But if you want a pizza, you got to travel to New York or Chicago.
You can get good pizza around here, Dave. You just can't. Like, you can get pretty good, but you're also paying 3 times as much for it, of course, right? Let's see here. Bozique says, I have a question for me or Dave or anyone in the chat for that matter. Why is it legal to copy a Strat or a Les Paul body, but the headstocks were off limits? What happened there legally? What happened there was people started copying body shapes basically from day one. And by the time Gibson and or Fender, because they both have been involved in lawsuits, by the time they got around to it, the judges ruled, hey, people have been making these bodies for decades. It's only recently, or it was more recent, where people were copying their headstocks as well. Hence the lawsuit. You look at a lot of those lawsuit Les Pauls literally have the mustache headstock. And that's where the judge came down on that was, so they have copywritten the headstock shape, but not the body shape. The body shape is now public domain, I guess you would call it.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's not just that. I mean, this headstock also, there's no companies other than Gibson making this headstock. Nope. Unless you're a small, like Chris Lock Custom Guitars.
And they're not building complete guitars. They are doing parts.
Right. They're building parts. That's why EVH doesn't have this headstock shape. They have something close, but it's not this.
Yep.
So, it's everyone's little domain. That's where everyone's I'm losing my mind today. Where everyone's thing differs. Like everyone has a Strat, everyone has a Tele shape, but the headstocks are all different. That's what makes everything, everyone have their own thing. It's the headstock shape. So, and if it has a Fender style headstock shape, it's licensed by Fender. Fender makes a piece of it, like Charvel and Jackson. You see Fender headstocks on Charvel. Yes, Fender owns Charvel and Jackson, but prior to them owning it, they were licensed by Fender, so they were allowed to use it as long as they paid Fender for that.
I believe same deal with ESP.
Yes.
What's up, Michael B?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, now we got pizza talk.
Well, fortunately, I still have like 2.5 pizzas upstairs to go through. So
goodness.
Yeah. Well, there's pharmaceutical helping agents involved with, I'll just sit back, watch some racing, and pig out on pizza until I pass out. Sure. And wait out the possible foot of snow that we get tonight. That's right. It's weather talk portion now, folks.
Wait, are you getting snow?
It's been raining all day, and it's supposed to turn to snow at some point, and most of southern Ontario is supposed to get up to a foot and a half.
We're getting 70-mile-an-hour winds tonight.
Oh, so if it snows, it won't stay.
I don't think it's going to snow. But we're supposed to get heavy, heavy winds tonight.
Wow.
And that'll be fun because I like the sound of that. Like from our bedroom, we have 2 windows that go right to the outside, and you hear that. You hear the wind, and it's really fun to hear. It actually puts me to sleep.
I get it. Did anyone get a new Fender George Harrison Rosewood Tele?
Very cool guitar.
How they reissued that again? They reissued it, I guess.
Yeah, man, beautiful guitar.
Yep. Hey, John.
Very heavy though. All Rosewood, very heavy.
I played one the last time they came out, but I haven't seen the latest one. Doubt I will, because they're going to be rare enough that they would have been all pre-sold. Excuse me.
Hey, John.
Well, Des, do you have Netflix going at the same time, possibly?
Oh, am I cutting out? A
little bit, here and there.
Let me leave the studio and I'll be right back.
Okie doke. Let's see. Excuse me. Charles 75N. Let's try it. Not 70N. 75N. Loves the Rosewood Tele. Can't afford it. Same. Billy Baloney had heavy rain all day. Now the snow. Lovely. Caramel 45 got 8 inches here.
You're
back. You seem okay.
Okay, very good. So let's talk Lust List.
Okay.
What do you got on the horizon? I know you said you want to do a new board of stuff that you want to put on it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have on that Lust List?
Can't show that, but I can show this. I'm just waiting for it to be built. I guess finished, designed, and be built. Boom. This will be the all-new LPD 74 Deluxe.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah. So it's the original 74 plus an all-new lower gain channel, I believe.
Uh-huh.
And the differences between that and the 87 is this one, if you notice, shared tone stack. So it's just separate levels and gains. So there we go. Cool. So I am lusting over that. Because I've been waiting, I don't know, a year that's been in the works. Prototype boards are inbound, whenever that was, February 7th. So a week and a half ago.
Very nice.
So yeah, that's on my lust list. A delay with an effects loop built into it. I don't know how you call them. You know, like certain delays, you can get them so you can put an effect on the repeats.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know, like most modulated delays, they put chorus on the repeats, which like a carbon copy, which is fine.
Yeah, it's like a degeneration.
Yeah, whereas I want to put a phaser on my repeats. Because why not?
That's a pretty good idea.
Bozique wants the new Hot Wheels inspired Creamer Beretta next. It's shiny metallic blue and hot rod flames. Yep, I get it.
Nice.
Dana, New Jersey, only 6 months away from the King of Tone he's been waiting on the list for 3.5 years for.
God, I really wish you would have told me. I would have sold you mine. Would have been more expensive though. My wish list. I'm jonesing for a Firebird. I want a Firebird 5.
Okay.
Yeah,
I get it.
I've been looking at Reverb. I've been looking at Firebirds on Reverb the past couple weeks, and just because that's all.
Yes.
Not that I need one. Certainly don't need one.
No, does Firebird 5 have the mini humbuckers?
Yep. The neck heavy is all hell.
Yeah,
and
all offset way out there. If you think an SG is stuck out there,
that's right. But they're cool. They're cool as shit.
I was saying on one of my shows recently, I would like to try one again because I couldn't play one at all. The problem when I strummed it, I was literally strumming behind the bridge because everything was so offset for me.
Yeah.
But I'd like to try one standing up playing because I haven't tried that, and it might be a completely different experience.
Okay.
So I want to give them another shake.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Trying to think of what else there is in the news here, but I don't really have anything else to talk about.
Neither do I, really.
Everyone in the chat, what do you guys have that you're looking to get, that you're lusting for, that you wish you had, that you want? Let us know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. There are a few other things, but I don't know exactly what it is yet. Like say, I want a delay that has the effects loop thing, for lack of a better term. I know they're out there. I know a few companies do them, so it's just a matter of, it's like, hey, we make one, but it's $400. Well, no.
T. Ricky says he's lusting for some time to play his new Tone King amp. Says he just received it and has had no time to play it.
I never judge. Well,
or if he wants a P90 Telly. Is he trying to let you know he wants your guitar?
I think so. I'm shocked, Joe, because he's Kid Shred. I didn't think you would ever want a P90 guitar or a Tele. Oh, I just heard from Brother Tom.
Oh, how's he doing?
Apparently he's back in the hospital, but on the road to recovery.
Okay.
Fair enough. I knew that he called Fruitcake Tony last night, so that's good. Jay says an ESP USA M2 Custom Shop 7-string. He always likes that superfluous 7th string. He likes all the strings.
Okay.
I get it. That sounds like a mean machine.
I'm thinking he may have one of those coming.
For now.
And,
yeah, but will it be staying?
Not telling us because he'll get it and he'll return it. Yeah. Poor Jay has no luck with new guitars.
The worst.
And it's not because he doesn't return them because he doesn't like them. He returns them because every one he gets has a problem. And it's just a shame. The only guy I know where every guitar he gets has a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's making new, never opened, never in a box. And
I get that, Jay. Thank God they don't offer that to Canadians. Well, they do, but I got to have an American bank account, and that's a hassle. It's hard to get an American bank account without an American address, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, let's talk new juniors, Michael B. Hang on a second.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the P90 Junior.
I was also looking at this.
Ooh. Murphy Lab.
Yeah, it's a Murphy
ultra late age, so that's just barely aged. So he breathed on it, is what he's saying. He didn't clean it up after he set it up, Dave. He didn't take the fingerprints off it. You know, might be a little dust. Yeah,
it's got weather checking on it, but no wear.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what lightly aged is: weather checking, but no wear. So yeah,
Oh, that sucks, Muddy Waters. He got a dud Carina V this week.
Oh no! Really? Is it one of those 10 grand ones that are supposed to be amazing?
Let's see. T. Ricky has some time this weekend. He's going to report on Sunday, going back to listen mode. Need to take care of some ice issues. Yeah, we'll de-ice away. Unless your ice issues involves a margarita mix, then mix away.
Wow. Muddy, what's the matter with the V? What happened to it? What's going on with it? Bruce Poinsett says PRS the 1 is a sleeper.
Mm-hmm. So Michael B wants a TV Yellow or a Junior Burst. Yep. Makes sense.
Yep. That TV Yellow is looking really good. Again, let's take a look at it one more time. This guitar, let's get a good picture of it.
It's like Gibson could charge 20% more for the TV Yellow model, and people will pay it just because it does make it 20% cooler.
It's just awesome.
Mm-hmm. Build one, Michael B.
What a great guitar that is.
Talked to Charles in the chat about doing a junior build. He did a Epiphone Junior fabric top with like a TV Jones pickup in it. Filtertron.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Which I could get because, the Filtertron, even though it's nothing like a P90, they share some tonal characteristics, you know what I mean?
Well,
they're a little more MIDI, the
funny thing is you think they're MIDI, and I think there's less mids in a Filtertron. I think the mids are scooped on a Filtertron. That's just what my ears hear. Muddy H2O says, bad switch, neck pickup, lean back. Enough strings touch the pickup when fretting on the 22nd fret. They drilled the bridge post crooked. They were angled towards the bridge pickup. That happens on a lot of Gibsons, and that doesn't mean it's a bad guitar. What they do is they drill those posts to match the neck angle. So if you have a steep neck angle on your guitar, they're going to drill the posts that way. They're not going to be straight, or else they're going to have a lot of string breakage right there. So don't think because your bridge is on an angle that it's not right. It's just missing. It's just matching the neck angle. So that is correct. That's the way it should be. What else did he say? He says they need to fix their neck angle then. You know what? There's not one correct way. You know, it's it may not be what you like, but it's
and there is some variances.
Leeway. Yeah, there's some leeway. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not any one particular way the neck angle has to be.
Yeah, there is some. Yeah, even to this day, even like Gibson USA, not every single neck angle is the same. You know, like if they say it's an 18-degree neck back, you know, it might be anywhere from 17.8 to 18.2. And there is a sweet,
and that little amount is enough to make the bridge seem higher.
Oh yeah,
you know, or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, it's like a teeter-totter. It's all about a balance. Yeah, and then and I just in general, I'm not going to say with Gibsons, but man, guitar companies where the pickup's all sagging on one side, you know, it's like, no, I don't want my neck pickup facing my bridge. You know, I want it parallel under the strings as much as possible, so both bobbins are the same distance below the strings.
And look, you know, in a perfect world, we all want, if we're going to buy a guitar, I don't care how much you're paying. If you're paying $200, $2,000, $20,000, we all want our guitar to be, for a lack of a better word, perfect. But let's face it, it's just wood and metal.
Mm-hmm.
It's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect for you right out of the box.
Yeah.
They have a set of tolerances they go by. It may not be what you want exactly. You know, and I use this analogy all the time. If you buy an Armani suit, you're not going to find one off the rack that's going to fit you perfectly. You got to get it tailored to you. A $10,000 Flying V still needs to be set up the way you want it to be for you. So don't think because it's not set up out of the box that way. Yeah, you may have to spend a little money on a setup, but then it's the way you want it.
Yeah.
And it's a guitar that you'll have forever.
Yeah.
You know,
it shouldn't fret out on the higher frets. That's weird.
No, but still, you know, a little fretwork.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt. The setup also, it could be a part of the setup.
Yeah.
If the nut is not cut correctly or the bridge is not sitting exactly correctly with the nut setup, it's all the way you have the guitar set up.
I'm okay with production line guitars coming out like that because they never do a true setup at the factory anymore. But custom shop stuff shouldn't, unless it's shipping related or, you know, something, Dave, like the truss rod needs to be adjusted. And that's why it's fretting out. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that truss rod adjustments, you have to do them post shipping quite often. So, but yeah, if it's,
I just want to address this with Muddy. You know, I understand you do your own setups, and that's great. I've been setting up guitars and doing setups and building guitars for 30 years, 30 plus years. I get it. I never buy a guitar. I've never, to this day, have bought a guitar where it was perfect. I buy a guitar knowing that I'm going to have to set it up. I'm going to have to do a little work to it to get it the way I like it. With any Gibson, I don't care. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on Gibson Custom Shop and Fender Custom Shop, and the nut is never cut close enough. The strings are always far away from the fretboard at the nut because they don't know how to cut a nut. So I have to do that work on every guitar. And I know that going in. So if I'm spending 10 grand on a guitar, I know I have to lower the nut slots, maybe lower the bridge slots. I know I have to do a neck adjustment. I know I may have to do some level and polishing on the frets. As soon as the guitar gets shipped and it goes in the air, in that thin air, and comes back down, say it comes from Nashville and comes to New York. Yeah, it's still on the East Coast, but it's going in the air. You know, it's flying and I'm not necessarily buying it. Say a guitar that's made in Nashville makes its way over to California. I see the guitar and I buy it on Reverb in California. Now it's got to fly from California to here. It's not going to come here perfect. It's going to be out of whack. These things, and I know, you know, the stuff like the pickup being off kilter, that should be done at the factory correctly, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So I understand spending $10,000 on a guitar and it's not perfect. I can understand you being upset about it. I'd be upset too, but I'd still be like, all right, it just needs the love that I give it to make it mine, which is what I would do anyway. And to me, that's all fun, especially if you do your own setups and you work on your own guitars. You're not spending any extra money. So you just do the work, put the string gauge that you want on it, and enjoy your guitar. I'm sure it looks gorgeous. The neck feels amazing. I'm sure it's super lightweight. And I'm sure that it sounds fantastic. So it's, you know, if it's just the setup and a couple of, you know, things that bother you by eye, just fix it and get it over with. That's what I would do.
I think we all go through our middle checklist. That's for sure. Hey, Vince. It wouldn't be a show without you jumping in at the end. Just saying.
Yes. Billy Baloney. What I mean by level and polish is, like I said, you know, if you're buying a $10,000 guitar and it's flying from, say, you know, one side of the country to the other or wherever it's going, your neck is going to be, it's going to be moving. It's going to move. I don't care what you say, what you do. It's only wood and metal. So chances are some of the frets may unseat themselves. They may unseed. They may lift a little bit. They may not have been totally perfect. And yes, you're right. They should be. You shouldn't have to level and polish a $10,000 guitar. But it happens.
No spoilers, Bri.
No. It happens. Of course, vintage guitars too. You spend $400,000 on a Les Paul. You ship that across country. You're going to need to do work on that too. You're going to complain that you just spent $400,000 on it. You're just going to do the work on it.
Carefully.
Yeah. And if you're smart, you don't have it shipped to you. You buy a plane ticket, go pick it up, and then buy a plane ticket for the guitar to sit in the seat with your back.
That's right. Because if you can afford the guitar, you can afford the extra plane ticket.
That's right. Pay $120 for the plane ticket and put it in the seat.
Yep. Hand tools and a tuner is all you really need, Bruce. And some form of measurement device. Excuse me. Might even show up with a broken headstock, Vince. That's right.
Joe Harvey says, so what other guitars are you spending that 10 grand on? Well,
it's not hard to spend 10 grand on a guitar. Really.
It's really not hard. Any private stock Paul Reed Smith, any tier 1 Nags guitar, pretty much any Murphy Labs custom shop Gibson, any master built Fender.
Yep.
You're spending, when all is said and done, it's $10,000.
Yep. And vintage stuff, man. There's stuff in the 70s that's going for 10 grand.
Right. Well, that's what, Strats from the 70s now are $12,000. Go figure. Go figure.
Yeah, and guess what? Soon, Strats from the 80s will be 10 grand. And then I might cash out. Because that $600 Strat, Dave, might have to go down the road. And I could buy a new Strat.
Joe Harvey says, okay, you have $10,000 right now. What guitar are you getting today?
I'm getting the most Tele I can.
Not guitar. What are you getting today? Just what are you getting today? If I had $10,000 today, I'm just putting it in the bank. I'm not buying a guitar. I'm not buying anything. It's going in the bank, going in my bank book. That's today. Tomorrow's a different story. I may see something that I want, but right now...
Today it goes in the bank. Tomorrow I start browsing Reverb.
Well, no, not necessarily. I don't do it that way. I got to have a hard on for something.
That makes sense.
If I'm really jonesing for something, that's when I look hard. Mm-hmm. But when I'm not looking for anything, I don't spend the money. But if I had $10,000,
here's 10 grand you got to spend on a guitar, I'd be like going to your friend Dave and say, okay, I got 10 grand. How much Telecaster can I get for 10 grand? Because I know he's got there's you just go through the years. Eventually you're going to find that one that's, well, this one's a little newer, but it's in better shape, or this one's a little older and it's a little worse shape. It's like, we don't care about shape. All we care about is playability.
You could probably get a 68 Tele for $10,000.
Yeah.
And that's a good guitar. 1968.
Sure.
It's fine. They're like, I remember a couple months ago there being a 68 Tele for like $10,500 over at Wellstrung Guitars.
Mm-hmm.
A blonde.
That'd be the first year of the poly finish.
Yeah. So you can get a good Tele. You're not getting a 50s or an early 60s Tele. You can get a 68. And it's about it. Or like I said, a master built custom shop if you want something new. But
you can either get something really old or something new that looks like that thing that's really old.
Yeah.
Or go to some luthier and say, hey, I've got 10 grand and he will build you the wildest looking whatever you want.
Well, that's the other thing. You can get a custom built guitar.
Yeah.
For $10,000, you could probably even get two. Yep. A good builder will make you, for $10,000, will make you two guitars.
Yep. And that could be a replica of anything you wanted, basically,
Yeah. I mean,
in your head.
John Sir, 10 grand will get you two guitars.
Yep.
It'll take you 2 years to get, but he'll build them for you.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be whatever you want.
Sure. Vintage Junior, you can get quite a bit of Junior for 10 grand.
Joe Hervey wants to know, from my standpoint, what player grade means to me. Let me reread that. Dave, last thing is, what is player grade from my standpoint? Player grade is refinished, changed parts, really beat up, not pristine. That's all player grade. Collector grade is custom color, in amazing shape, 100% original case, hang tags, that type of stuff. back in the 90s, I had some money, so I bought a bunch of vintage guitars. And I bought a 54 Telecaster, and then the truss rod was broken. So the guy I bought it from said, I'll take it back, because he didn't care. He didn't care. He was selling the guitar no matter what to someone. So he said, listen, I got these two Strats in. They were both 1961s. One was pristine, not even a fingerprint on it. The other one was beat up and needed a fret job, but it was 100% original. Which one did I take? The beat up one. I put a new set of frets in it, and it was the best Strat I ever owned in my life. It was the most amazing Stratocaster I ever had. I still have dreams of that guitar. I should never have gotten rid of it. I had to sell it when I didn't have medical insurance and I was in the hospital, so I had to sell that guitar. It was the single most one thing that I should never have sold. It's absolutely the best Strat I've ever played, and I'm still to this day kicking myself in the ass for selling it.
Hey, sis.
Hey, Amanda, how are you?
I'm late. Blame the kid. All right. I will see you in 11 hours and 57 minutes because I pick up my sister for work tomorrow at 9:20 in the morning.
Very cool. Hey, so listen, my voice is getting a bit hoarse. So I think, what do you say we end it here? Everyone have a great week. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Thursday with Paige Davidson from Well Strung Guitars.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
And, maybe there'll be other things to show off. Who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe Paige will have some vintage guitars to show off.
Maybe.
I'm not sure if she's going to do it from the shop or if she's going to do it from her house. Not sure yet. We'll see. But thanks for showing up, everyone. Thanks for participating in the show.
As always, Dave. I'm just going to quickly say this Sunday on my channel on the Sunday Night Hang, I have Charles Green coming back for our continuing part 2 conversation of him working the backstage door at the Whiskey for a couple of years in the early 80s.
Very cool. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys and girls want to check out Larry Mitchell, it happened on a Sunday night. Watch Ben first, and then watch Larry, 9 o'clock. Watch a little bit of each. I'm moderating Larry's show. I always moderate the shows Sundays and Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun. So check that out if you like, but make sure you check out Ben's show first. And we'll see you all next week, Ben.
Always a pleasure, Dave. See you, everybody.
You got it. Later.